For today's K-Correspondent, we want to explore the Korean wave in Australia, where a special exhibition is currently taking place at the National Museum of Australia in Canberra. This showcase explores a wide range of topics, from the history of Hallyu to K-content and even fashion. Today, we connect with Alexandra Feiam, a fashion writer in Australia, to find out more. Hello, Alexandra.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
We're very happy to have you on the show, Alexandra. So, to begin with, could you tell us a bit about the exhibition, Hallyu, the Korean Wave, and that's Hallyu with an exclamation mark behind. So, I think it might also be the first time that Australia is having such an event in such a large scale, entirely dedicated on Hallyu. So, what's the significance of this event?
Yeah, you're right. This is the first exhibition of its kind that we've seen in Australia. So it's really exciting. So the National Museum of Australia, which is in Canberra, our capital, it has a lot of amazing artifacts about Australian history. But this is so exciting because this exhibition shows the impact of Hallyu, or the Korean wave, and what it's had on Australia. So if I think about K-pop and the way it has exploded in popularity in Australia, it's unbelievable, especially over the past half decade, so maybe 10 years. But it wasn't really until the 2020s until it became super mainstream. So if I think of Cat's Eye, it's a household name in Australia, and I'm sure every single parent would know the K-pop Demon Hunters, every word back to front. So it's really understated how much Korean pop culture has had an impact on Australia. So this exhibition's a really exciting way to see it all unfold. Costumes, like insights into the way films are made, the history of the fashion in Korea. It is mind-blowing.
Wow, it does sound very interesting. And we understand that the exhibition covers a wide range of themes, from history of Hallyu to K-content and related industries, as well as fashion, which is your expertise. So could you please tell us more about it, please?
Absolutely. So in this exhibition, there are 200 objects that you can see. So there are costumes from famous idols, whether they've been in music videos or live on stage. It's so cool to see them in the flesh. And so there are artists like G-Dragon, Big Bang, and of course, Psy. So even if you don't think you know anything about K-pop or Korean culture, you'll go there and see something that you know. So that's really, really exciting. And there's some other stuff in there that just is so cool. Like they have bright colors, amazing sculptures. There are dance classes. And of course, you can look at some of the most influential pieces of fashion as well. I mean, that's why I would go. Just have a look at all of the couture and just everything that's happened in Korean pop culture that's had an impact in Australia and around the world as well. Plus, there's a lot of K-pop, which I also love.
All right, so many things you can explore at this exhibition, Alexandra. And I think the exhibition also highlights how traditional Korean elements such as hanbok, which is Korea's traditional attire, and 보자기, or traditional decorative wrapping cloths, are being reinterpreted through modern K fashion. And I think Bella earlier mentioned how my dress today looks kind of like hanbok. So in Australia, have you seen similar examples where this fusion of tradition and modernity has influenced fashion or consumer trends?
Absolutely. So I personally think that one of the most exciting aspects of this exhibition is the fashion. It's not just the costumes that reflect the rich and colorful history of Hallyu. It's just South Korea in general. But there's a mix of traditional and modern South Korean garments and designers as well. So there's Minju Kim. Minju Kim did a really beautiful reinterpretation of, which is gorgeous to see. And my personal favorite is Miss Sohee. So Miss Sohee, there is one piece in that collection that is just mind-blowing. It's the peony dress. And you'll see a lot of Miss Sohee's work on the red carpet. Celebrities wear her work. And I think that she's one of the most influential names in South Korea, but across the entire world. And you see a lot of pieces influenced into the influencer culture as well. Especially with Miss Sohi, you will see some influencers using her pieces to inspire bridesmaids' dresses and other red carpet gowns. And then, of course, this trickles down into everyday fashion and trends. And then, of course, you get K-pop culture, which also influences our fashion as well. We're very much a streetwear forward country. So we'll take bits and pieces that we see in pop culture, on TV, in music, and we'll always blend it into our own.
Mm-hmm. It's great to hear that these Korean designers are being represented there at the exhibition, because I think you mentioned Minju Kim or Kim Minju and Miss Sohee, and they are also quite different, I would have to say, because Kim Minju is more about the playful day-to-day style and Miss Sohee is more about high fashion couture. So it's really great to have them at that exhibition.
Definitely. And we're going to continue talking about fashion. So could you please share some specific K-fashion styles that are currently popular in Australia, as well as the features that local consumers seem to prefer? And also, how does K-fashion kind of differ from Australia's own fashion trends?
Well, it's very interesting because, as I said, Australia loves to be laid back, especially in Melbourne. We love to have a bit of experimental and avant-garde clothes as long as they're comfortable. So we like to wear lots of black, lots of puffer jackets, sleek tracksuits and things. And when you see a lot of modern K-influenced fashion, it's exactly the same as what you'll see in Australia. It's amazing. And so we obviously take a lot from that because we have such a big melting pot in Australia of people and influences and cultures. So we always pick and choose what we love, what we find is best. But then when I think of some brands that we love, one of the biggest is Gentle Monster. They have the most amazing glasses. And at Chadstone, which is our biggest shopping center in Melbourne, I always see a really long line of people going in, trying on the coolest eyewear. They're changing the game. And then we also have OYY and we have Hayan So as well. They've infiltrated Australian fashion. And it's not just wearing those brands. It's Australian brands that take inspiration from South Korean fashion and then will reinterpret it and make it their own. And so people will be wearing Korean-inspired fashion and they don't even know it.
Oh, very interesting to hear, Alexandra. Now, we're also curious about the level of interest in Hallyu in Australia right now. Just generally, I mean, Hallyu seems to be expanding well beyond K-pop and dramas into areas such as food, fashion, as we mentioned, as well as beauty. So from your perspective, what are some of the most notable changes or maybe examples of this broader cultural expansion that you've observed firsthand?
Well, as you previously mentioned, K-pop is probably the top. It is so popular and it's transcended generations. So I'm a younger millennial, and so a lot of K-pop really started bubbling up with my generation, and then Gen Z took it to another level, especially in Australia. It's skyrocketed in popularity. And of course now Generation Alpha is just continuing that love. And because it's become so mainstream, it's entered Australian households. It's not just a niche little club that you're a part of anymore. It's something that's just everywhere. But other than K-pop, my personal favorite would have to be K-beauty and skincare as well, which if you have a look at Australia, it is completely overtaken the beauty and skincare industry. It's amazing. There are shops in every single mall, and it's always packed full of people. Personally, I have also become a diehard user of Korean skincare. So there have been a handful of moments that have really shaped the industry, like the beauty industry, that is. But I think that Korean beauty it's got to be one of the top because the ingredients and the formulas are so innovative. I think of like snail mucin and the salmon PDRN. They are viral on TikTok. They've been recommended by people that have worked in skincare for years and years. So this is like a serious movement. And you have brands like Medicube and Anua and all of these other ones that have become so popular. You'll see them on shelves in chemists and pharmacies. It's completely hit the mainstream, and I love seeing it.
Definitely. When it comes to skincare, I feel like Korea is always mentioned, and K-beauty with K-beauty skincare is always mentioned and getting a tremendous love globally. Now, Alexandra, to end off today's talk, looking at the current trajectory of Hallyu, what areas of emerging shifts do you believe deserve the most attention going forward from now?
Well, as I was saying, the Korean wave in Australia has been building for a little while and it's just continuing to grow. And I feel like we've just begun the momentum. I don't really think I could predict a specific area that will get the most attention. Based on the data that I've seen and my own experience, I think that the Korean skincare and K-pop are going to continue staying in the top. But you're also going to see a lot of other things that have been gaining popularity, like TV shows and films. So obviously Squid Games, Parasite, K-pop Demon Hunters. They're some of the ones that are just started. But we've got so many more coming in because people are excited to see something new, something fresh and innovative. And in a world where we're seeing a lot of the same thing, people are embracing exciting, new, colorful and intriguing ideas. And I think that the Korean wave, or Hallyu, is absolutely delivering that into spades. So you also get applications like TikTok and Instagram where other trends like this just explode and become viral. So as people become more educated about these trends and about the scientific breakthroughs and the innovation, I think that the word's just going to spread like wildfire.
All right. Thank you very much, Alexandra, for that. I can't wait to see how much Korean culture will further penetrate into Australians' lives. And yeah, thank you very much for today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to see you back here next week.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.